There was a raid on the community housing development, very traumatic and a lot of unknowns. This was an intergenerational kind of event, so you had families that were torn apart with members incarcerated, others awaiting trial, others, being raised by a single parent, whoever remained in the home, or siblings and constellations of siblings kind of living in the same home under one parent. So that was basically the event that precipitated our involvement in the community center at Manhattanville. So the art directives and the makeup of the group really ended up changing as we went along. I was there for several years in the aftermath of that event. So the clients that initially were seeing me and were identified as witnesses of the raid and really impacted, really benefited from controlled materials and gaining mastery over the tools that they were using and the things that they were doing. It seemed to me that they were very fragile in what we were able to address or where I could take the dialogue. So I leaned more into physically engaging tactile materials, but also doing things like jewelry making and just stringing beads or doing collage where I had pre-cut forms so that the art object can actually be really put together, really nice, and not triggering for them. As we went along and we got more and more participants who were ready to engage in a different way, I ended up doing some sort of like house building, homemaking, dollhouse making, board games, things like that, where there was a lot of reenactment or enactment in the play. But it was really enjoyable and a safe way for the clients to kind of tell their stories because they're using this avatar and the not me. So that was really interesting, and you're seeing their patterns of attachment, their boundaries, and the way that they're creating the home. So some of them were creating things that were like wrapped in tape and yarn and really built up like fortresses, and other homes that were transparent, and so-and-so lives here and so-and-so goes there. So these kinds of narrative techniques, when they were ready for them and a little bit older, were also really effective. And of course there was stuff like slime and things where the clients really were allowed to shine as the expert, and that worked well for them. This was one iteration of the girls groups, and they were like, you know what, Miss Val, we're grown and we're ready, moving on. And I had been with them for several years, and we started talking really actively about the therapeutic relationship, and I was blown away by the amount of trust and how they had grafted me into their lives. Felt like, oh my God, I'm so important to them, and they like know who I am. And I was really touched by that. I thought that was, the biggest lesson for me, having started in this place with a lot of unknowns, and can I do this? And, will I be accepted? Will they be receptive to the therapy? And to then hear, like at the end of our time together, how important this experience has been with them and how trusted I am.